This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. WFO Radio is back. It is Friday, and it is time for Happy Hour. What a week we have had. We started off with the Ignition Show. That was just absolute greatness. And then Alan Reinhart breaking down the Lucas Oil Nationals, looking forward to the big go. And then we just kept ramping up. We ramped up. We had Josh Hart. We had Leah Pruitt. We had Ricky Smith. We had John Force. And what better way to conclude a week of superstar celebrity drag racers than with our own Happy Hour crew. It's been a long time, and they are back. I'll tell you about sponsors later on in the show. We got to get to the fun. It's Friday. You don't have anything to do, so let's get to it. Courtney Enders, Jason Logan, right back. No playing around. Let's just get right to the fun. How are you guys doing? It's been a while. It's been a minute, as they say.
Well, it's been a minute doing this show. We saw each other last weekend. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that is true. We did see each other last weekend. We were at the race. We all worked together. Courtney was there. Like, were you hanging out and then got drafted into work or something? Like, I felt like you were chilling and then you were working.
Well, I thought I was going to have an easy week. We started off, the three of us had dinner together, and I feel like that's how this was rebirthed. So cheers to the dinner.
That's exactly where it was rebirthed. That's exactly right. It had been too long. I'm going to make my beverage while you guys talk.
But yeah, I was supposed to kind of be their Sans elite and just helping pro mod and helping mountain motor guys out there in Brainerd. And somehow I got to be in charge of the D-Wagon shootout. So that was pretty sweet, actually.
Wasn't it, though? It was like okay.
We're over there planning stuff, and Evan's like, Courtney, all right, you're going on. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
You got to handle this, right? That was, we had that conversation. That was one of the great behind the scenes moments. By the way, these are the beverages I get when I get upgraded to first class. I always keep a stock, right? I save one and I use
Joe
one.
is a hoarder with those things. He's like, can I get a double? And then he puts one in the bag and has one cocktail. I sat next to you one time, Joe. That's
exactly the thing. I got that pocket on my shirt that it goes right here. You got to hoard, man. You never know when you're going to run into a dry spot.
You never know. I was on a plane last week and we were stuck on the runway forever because of weather. We were in Oklahoma City, supposed to be in Dallas, and they would not serve us the alcohol.
This is preposterous.
It was erroneous. And I was on American Airlines, so I was like, you guys are my homies. What are you doing?
By the way, what I hate going back with that whole thing is when you get upgraded to first class and they usually come around, or I should say usually, they used to. Hi, can I get you something to drink before we take off?
Yes.
I hate when they don't do that. I'm like, what's going on? Can I get a cocktail?
There's nothing better than while people are boarding and you sit there like this.
Yes.
That's what air travel is supposed to be all about, right? I got upgraded on my 2 flights on the way home last time, and they asked me for a beverage, and I never reject the beverage, man. I always send it. It's 3 a.m.? Take it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Cheers, y'all. And thank you very much. Happy Hour has begun. We've got a lot of people. Courtney was saying that people were excited. I didn't believe it, but apparently people are. We got people out there. Jason Logan, the best DJ in the business.
Come on now.
Not a lie at all.
What you know about that?
Every wedding I have, he will be the DJ.
Oh, that's all of them. All of them.
Yes,
Scott says Courtney is making flow racing much more fun. How about that, Courtney? Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
A lot.
You've been a media darling lately, and I immediately went to the Kelly Crandall Racing Writers podcast because she made me aware on the Twitter machine, and while flying, I listened to the whole first one. I thought it was great. I learned some things, but I had pretty much known. But thank you for the shout out. Most importantly, those happy hour shows, that's part of the resurgence too.
It boosted it.
You gave credit. Like, that was awesome.
It did. It absolutely did. I've said it before, but COVID was a great time for people like us who rely on the internet, so we got to have fun. And I think that instead of going on the normal racing nonsense that we always talk about, we got to know different personalities and different people. And I credit you, Joe Castello, a lot. And you've helped me. We've talked many times about, just little nuances and things that I was uncomfortable with being on camera and things of such. So I had to name drop all of my homies. Have to.
And I was
Kelly
awesome.
Crandall is awesome. She is absolutely brilliant, beautiful person.
Okay, so I don't know her. This is the
I don't
real
know her
answer.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
I didn't
don't
know her either. I was on a podcast with her. I was a guest. We were both guests on a podcast. And we kind of connected on social media and then started following each other. And she is hilarious. She would fit right in with this trio real well. The pettier, the bettier. Love her.
Tremendous. And she does a lot of NASCAR work, and Reinhart has been on her podcast as well. And he says that she's a NASCAR convert, right? Like, didn't know about drag racing. Let me go look at that, see what's going on over there, and then gets it. Say, oh, they're having fun. It's a little less intense. They ramp up the fun a little bit more. And that is accurate. So
I would like to think we are
awesome.
trying to ramp up some fun over there.
we are trying to ramp up the fun. So I can't wait for part 2. It's great. Jason, on that deal, like you were gone for a while, but now you're back. Do you feel like totally reacclimated to NHRA life with your new role as the low zone?
Yeah, of course, Joe. It is a different scenario than what was there before, but it is fun. It's good to see all the people back, or at least when I am back, I get to see all the people.
You do, but you're a big thing now, man. You're like
the show is so much better. There is something to be said for being able to go to the three of y'all with Reinhart, with Joe, with you. I mean, it helps that I love all of you dearly, but the conversations that happen on the mic, you know, when the tractors are on the track and all of that, it's a show. It's entertaining and it's a show where it was really just killing time before.
The vicious attacks on one another.
I love it.
So they're not that vicious. They're not that vicious, Joe.
They're light. They're
just
lightweight.
Alan.
Yeah, it's always fun. But you know what's funny though? I can feel Alan setting up to jump on Joe, and sometimes I bite, sometimes I don't. But it's kind of fun to watch. But it's fun too because we also had new people show up, different third announcers that try to get in the mix, and that just doesn't happen.
Well,
Alan was trying to get onto your champion when you were doing the Parade of Champions with the sportsman guys in Brainerd. I was watching in my rental car driving to my canceled flight. And he kept trying to pipe in, and I'm like, "Hey, man, this is Joe's space.
Yeah,
Get out of
well, I don't.
You know what, Courtney? I said the same thing in my head. I go, "Who's this Alan Reinhart guy dropping, stats and crap? Get off his business. That's Joe's stage."
Okay, so I don't care, which I think you guys know is my MO. Hopefully, like I don't think about such things. I didn't even know that any of that was happening. I couldn't hear. They had us so far away, like in Kansas, that I'm just out there alone with this racer, and we're kind of talking, and hopefully people are listening and they're having their great special moment, which we missed one though. Michael Manns, the guy was sick. He wasn't feeling well. He drove away. He reached out to me. He was like, "Hey man, I missed out. I'm sorry, but I was sick." I actually really appreciated that. Oh, look, Kev Ford is connecting from Sweden, guys. We got the long distance.
Wow.
Yep.
What's up, Sweden?
What's up, Sweden?
What time is it over there?
Yeah.
Late.
Soup to Moon Croup.
It's happy hour time everywhere. That's the beauty of this show.
Well, exactly. You guys wanted to go a little early. To be honest, Jason, you've got a gig, right? You're going to go gig.
That's the reason why I'm just drinking water. I feel like I could get a beer in 1 or 2 before I go because it's really a simple event. I'm just playing band breaks, but still, to be respectful to the people who hire me, I will not show up half in the bag.
I agree with that sentiment, right? Like if you're going to work, you got to be able to do the work, and that's fine. And I appreciate that. Good job.
And speaking of that, Joe, something happened in Brainerd where I was a bombshell was dropped on me that I'm going to have to DJ at the banquet. That means Jason's not going to be able to drink until way, way, way late in the evening.
That also means that you can't not go because you were trying to not go.
I was too.
Yeah, we were trying, but then all of a sudden.
Birthday. It's on my birthday. The banquet is my birthday. Y'all have to go because it's all about me.
Yeah, of course. Well, it'll be fun. I always have a great time at the banquet. And Jason was like twisting my arm. He's like, "Dude, don't go.
Don't go.
Don't do it. Don't go.
Don't be a negative Nancy and spread that, Jason."
It's the same thing. We can watch it online.
No, it's not going to be the same thing. We are at Palm Springs. This is way different than anything we've ever done. This is going to be really cool.
Are we really at Palm Springs or are we in Pachanga?
We're at Pachanga.
Okay, listen, again, stop.
It's okay. Right.
I'm selling it.
Well, so to me, the idea that they have a swimming pool and they have cabanas, I don't know what it's going to be like in November. Cold, not used. Do they cover it? What do they do? But there's potential for daytime fun there. And that kind of sounds interesting.
There is potential.
Yeah.
I mean, we did at the banquet last year. Like everybody hung out at the pool at the Beverly before we went there, and so I think it'll be okay.
2 years.
See how much cooler that sounds? The Beverly. Hello.
Last year we did it at the track, guys. That was an at the track thing. Remember that?
I blocked that out. There. You're right.
Yeah, you blocked
that out.
I wasn't there, Joe.
That was terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what everyone is excited about doing. But here we're putting the cart before the horse, right? Because we're getting ready for the big go, the U.S. Nationals, the biggest race. And Courtney's sister is going for 3 in a row. I had kind of not realized that. Like going for 3 in a row is a big deal in the world of drag racing.
Yeah, like 2020 was, I think that it actually surprised me too whenever we were going over the stats for pre-race stuff, but 2020 was a bit odd. So it didn't, although it felt like Indy, we were in Indy for those like 6 races in a row. Yep. So it kind of, the big go didn't feel the same. But last year was absolutely incredible. So this could be her 4th Indy win and her 3rd in a row.
That would be rare air to be up there with that many. 4. I think Jeg's got 4. And to win 4 in a row, it's super rare, like Bob Glidden, Warren Johnson, Greg Anderson. And so you can't win 4 in a row.
That's a crazy list of people to be with.
Crazy. So that's going to be exciting. And we haven't seen Pro Stock. Like, so weird to not have Pro Stock. Jason, right? Like, you even said it. Like, it just changes the game.
Just between Pro Stock and Pro Stock Bike, it's just a totally different dynamic of people that are out there. I mean, forget the racing. It's just the people in general. You know, there's beef over here. These people love each other over here. And there's the behind-the-scenes drama. That part's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mountain Motor, Pro Stock, we don't follow that enough. So, I don't know. But to see, you know, the Courtney Enders picking fights with these people over here. And then, you know, it's what goes on, Courtney. You know it does.
No, it doesn't. Courtney walks in all worlds. She is universally appreciated. I don't know anybody.
I am loved by most, hated by few. But no, it does. And I was there, you know, obviously we just talked about it. I was there and it was really weird. Like, forget not having the elite people and my normal people. That was kind of, it's fun because I end up getting to do different stuff, like go out to dinner with y'all whenever I'm not bombarded with the elite stuff, but it just feels empty. Like, even on stage, I almost wish, and I'm not trying to be controversial already, but I almost we could throw the Pro Mod guys up there on TV, you know, and I understand it's a different sponsored series, but having the 2 drivers right there, taking nothing away from them, but it felt incomplete looking at it on TV and the cover photo on NHRA stuff. They always do the winners on the stage, and it's like, we're missing 2 homies here.
Yeah. Well, we're trained. Old school drag racers are trained to have a minimum of 3 and sometimes 4 drivers. That's our deal. That's our class. Our class isn't about 1. Our race is not about 1. It's about different classes and different people. And the newspaper people always say that that's a bad thing, right? Because you get 10 lines and who you're going to talk about, 4 drivers, it's tough. But if you love drag racing, that's a different deal. Oh, we got a new long distance award, Brisbane, Australia.
That's the farthest away ever?
I think he wins, right? Like, you can't get much further than Australia.
And it's 4 a.m. there, so he gets like just a prize for being awake.
Exactly.
He's laying in bed on his phone like this. Oh my God, Joe. This is great. WFO Joe. I'm so excited to watch.
Okay, you guys want to see my superpowers here? Jason, Your face would look good on a Top Fuel car next week in Indy. Again, I'll send you a proposal for different packages that are available.
That has to be Will Smith.
God.
Of course it's Will Smith. It's Will Smith, Facebook user. He didn't sign in. That's okay, Will. How about that? Will is going to drive Top Fuel at the big go.
Pretty pumped for him.
That is so awesome.
His butt off. He works his butt off on the car, at PDRA, everything. That guy's awesome. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
So what will you charge him to put your mug on a Top Fuel car? Next level.
Listen, Top Fuel. Last time my face was on the car was Norwalk way back in the day, and he made it to the finals, Joe.
Exactly.
I think I might have had a little bit to do with that.
No doubt. So Will,
if you charged him, I would reimburse Will for what you charged him.
And that's it.
He said, never charge him. Never.
He said send proposals for different packages, and so I only assume he's going to pay you for the face to be on the side of the car and bring him great luck, which it already did one time to the final. $500, Will.
Will, 500. Joe, Courtney, can I hear 600? 600, Courtney? 600. Joe Castello.
I speak for Richard Freeman. We'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. No, I think it's great. And Larry Dixon's car, which is what I understand the case to be. But I think it's super exciting. Yeah, you went to the final, Will, with Jason's face. Speaking of which, Jason, people have been commenting about your background there. Like, look at this.
There it is.
That is
let me get out of the way. Let me get out of the way. There it is.
That is your greatest moment in the history of drag racing, I think.
It might have been, Joe. That's back when pre-race was super fun, and we did all kinds of good stuff and had some shenanigans up on stage.
Yeah, we had time.
I remember one time in Vegas, he was trying to act like one of the Vegas gals too. So you've had your moment up there when there's some ladies on the stage.
The flash dance one. When did that happen? Because that's what it was. That the same moment that you're doing up there?
That was the same year, and that was when Courtney was number one qualifier.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah. Not you, Courtney. Courtney Force.
Okay.
That was a good moment, though, Joe. That was I had did the whole flash dance, the whole thing. Listen, it's fun. And like this weekend in Brainerd, I was getting ready for semifinals, and in my ear, here comes Evan. All right, you got the champ, and you got the points leader, Steve and Brittany, and I'm having a little sing along with everybody. And then Alan says something, and then I just decided I was going to sing, and I started singing "Friends in Low Places," but I started doing the whole thing.
Right, you made up words.
I made up words. I made up a whole chorus about what was getting ready to happen, and then in my ear I hear, "I've had about enough of that."
All right,
Mr.
let's not turn this into a negativity session.
No, I'm just saying. I was like, we were having fun. Joe was having fun. Everybody was having fun listening to me sing. I'm not the best singer in the world. But
no, you're not.
You get by better than me. But you made up some great words there, and it was great stuff. So everyone's checking in. Jeff is out there. Everybody's out there. They're all like, I sent out a tweet that said, "Look, let's face it, guys. You're done with this week. Okay, it's 2:00 on Friday. You're not going to get anything else accomplished unless you're Jason Logan. So just blow it off and hang with us." So you mentioned
I have a hair appointment after this. What a busy Friday.
Exactly. Go get 3 EE Pro Stock Dreams. Everybody's excited about that. Bobby's Bug Barn says Courtney has a sister.
Dude, all I know is I'm looking at my face. I need to put more sunscreen on when I'm out at the track.
Me too, man. We got to watch out for that. The sun, it's radiant. Brian wants to know about he says, what's the flow gig? Like, how you loving the flow gig? Let's talk about the flow gig. That's news. Since we last had you guys on, Joe and Jason pretty much in the same spot. Courtney Enders dominating drag racing. So this flow gig, though, I think it's exciting, but you tell us.
Yes, I actually last night just got home from spending the week in Austin. So they do these 2 offsite events each year. And so all 400 employees were in Austin this week at our facility. And this place is like Google. It's top notch. It's wild. But we had a ton of meetings, ton of really good stuff. And long story short, there's over 20 verticals. The verticals are the sports that we cover. And each year they kind of reprioritize what they're going to be doing. And motorsports is number 1. And so we're getting a ton of really cool new stuff that I can't talk about yet, but it's going to be incredible. We've got this big goal of being this essential destination for drag racing fans, and we're going to be collaborating. We're not trying to take over a space by any means. We're going to be collaborating with everybody and just kind of reuniting the community around it. And I'm really excited that they've trusted me to be able to do that. I mean, we're just in board meetings and they're like, what do the drag racing fans want? What do they need? What is the market missing? And it's so refreshing to know that they are just their eyes open, ears open, writing it down, and then making moves for the things that I have to say. So keep y'all's eyes on Flow. There's going to be some really cool stuff. Not even the subscription stuff. Obviously, subscriptions matter, but free content on the page and stuff. So we are growing, and I'm so excited. That's great. I first became aware of them with their coverage of the Chili Bowl, and I had no idea. They did stuff other than racing. That's just my understanding, the connection to the dirt track world and more drag racing. Cheerleading, wrestling, grappling. I mean, there was 20 something of them. I had no idea. So it's crazy. Oh, that's nuts. What? Sorry, Joe. What is like the model you guys are going? Are you guys trying to do like the Barstool kind of thing where you like with contributors coming in, you get new different
shows or whatever. And you
they're being really open to what's cool about it is it's not a cookie cutter situation, where it's like they started with wrestling and it was very successful. And
wrestling,
they're not like
wrestling or wrestling.
Where I come from, wrestling.
All right.
But wrestling. And so they created a system that worked, but it's not a cookie cutter template kind of deal where it's like, here's what worked, here's what we're going to do and spread it across the company. They're literally letting each vertical create its own pillar of people, of talents. Like we brought the West Buck Show over there. We're going to be, again, just lots of stuff I don't want to get in trouble for saying, but going to be really cool we get to do our own thing. I'm going to probably have a show coming up soon and be collaborating with some stuff. But just a fun space to get to know the personalities. Something really big there is, we stream certain series, but we don't have the rights to stream all of them. But that doesn't mean that we can't cover all racers. And it's been my personal prerogative since I got in this business that I think that the stars should be the stars. And yeah, the cars are cool and all that stuff. So I kind of got this little phrase going and spread it to my bosses of it's time to let the cars be the cars and put some effort into the stars. So we're going more personality pieces, if you will. So I think it's gonna be really cool.
I like
That's
it.
awesome.
No, I like it. Well, take it where you think it should go, right? Like that's the first thing that they're doing is picking someone that's inside the sport. Like the worst is when they pick someone who I'll just make up an example, like, oh, we're doing TV, so we'll get a TV person and then we'll have to do something about drag racing. No. You need a drag racing person to create the TV. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense to drag racers. And so that's they learned that the hard way. I think that there was a couple of instances and, forget the production value and all that. That's always getting better. But they weren't speaking the language and they were aware of it and they want to speak the language. And so they've invested in the right people at the right time. And it's going to be really cool. And we're streaming live right now in MCA. So, they're
we're done here. You can go on over there.
As soon as we're done, guys.
So Courtney, I got to get a subscription, just like NHRA.TV, to see all of your stuff, and it's all living on a platform. No,
you need a subscription to see the live streaming of the races and stuff. But the content that I'm doing at the racetrack, we're just putting on the website, and that's free. That's content. We want people to, not even our customers, to be able to come there and get to see what we're doing. So there is some premium stuff, but there is a lot of free stuff. So like when I was at the PDRA Pro Stars event last week, I was on the mic doing the live top end interviews as well, but I was doing some sights and scenes videos and some random stuff that I was putting on the website as free content as well. And a lot of our podcasts and stuff, I'm not sure, and nobody yell at me at Flo, I'm not sure. I think mine's going to be one of the free ones too. But so it's about subscriptions, and obviously we're all business people and trying to make a buck, but the main goal, which is why I gave the keys to my castle up for this, is they want drag racing fans to be able to have all the space in the world. So,
yeah. Well, paywall is great and all, but there's just so many people that will not do it. They won't do it. And
that's okay.
And so that's why WFO has always been, some people have suggested, put WFO behind a paywall. No. That's when we die. Yeah. If we got a thing where, the Patreon deal, you guys know about it. Like if somebody wants to pay that back, we'll give them the option and we'll give them some bonus content. But like the core stuff, I think needs to be out there free. So it's easy. So it's shareable. So you can maybe bring on a new fan or a new viewer to the sport. Like, oh, I love football. What is this about? Oh, cool. Drag racing. Yes. I'll check it out. You've got to be able to get to those guys. Quick update. Will Smith says, no, you got to pay him. LOL.
Oh.
And then he disappeared. It's kind of funny how we all went to the same place, though, where Will is paying you to have your face on the side of his car.
Kind of a big deal, Joe. Big deal.
We know that. Okay, so everyone wants to know, Courtney, what's this beverage you're drinking? Like, what the heck is that thing?
So I ordered a mimosa, and I'm at one of my favorite spots in Fort Worth called Rim. The Rim, and it is called the Dahlia Mimosa. It's got pineapple juice, wine, some cherry liqueur, some blueberry liqueur with tahini on the rim, which is really what sold me. I like spice.
All right.
I'm trying a new mimosa.
I like the spice. Joe, on the next cocktail hour, happy hour you have here, we should all make a drink. Like have one specialty drink that everybody in your audience can make, and we'll watch Courtney make it.
Oh, I love that. Well, I think
I'll make it. I don't care.
Is it because I'm a woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So what do you think? Like you're saying that the caffeine / leftover airplane Tito's is not creative
We're
enough?
also having
No,
lunch.
that's fine, Joe. But I'm just saying, make a specialty cocktail. Ladies and gentlemen, join us for this happy hour where we're going
We
to
can
make
market it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we could. Yeah, it could be a sponsored thing.
So for everybody
So
out
maybe-
there, right? Yes.
Maybe we need suggestions. Like we can have people start to like give us some suggestions for some craft cocktails we can make too, you know?
I like it. Well, I call mine
Like
the layover because it's stolen airport alcohol. But this was discussed. And, Jason has been wanting us to do something like live at the track, Courtney. He's been pushing this for a long time, right? Pushing it.
That
Like,
would be
maybe
awesome.
maybe
course
that's
it
the deal, right? Like we figure out I just keep telling you, Jason, like at the end of a Friday night, man, like, are you really ready to go do a show?
No, Joe, it's 15, 20 minutes of a track recap. Hey, this is what happened today.
Yeah.
And, and like Courtney's doing about the personalities. Do it in your hotel room, and all of a sudden, hey, there's the safety safari guy walking in. Hey, man, what was the most troubling thing you had to deal with today?
You just post up at the hotel bar and you'll get everybody.
Yes.
Exactly.
Joe,
Exactly.
this is what, and going back to the cocktail thing, Courtney and I enjoy a Brandon Bernstein. Courtney, tell them what a Brandon Bernstein is.
What is a Brandon Bernstein?
It is your vodka of choice minus Tito's, Texas Rep Hard, Tito's Pellegrino, and some fresh lemon juice. I don't want any of that bottled stuff. You got to get a thick slice of a lemon or 2 slices, and it's basically like a fancy lemonade.
Right.
It's refreshing.
It's
refreshing.
It is really refreshing. At the racetrack, it's incredible, actually, because you're kind of getting hydrated because it's Pellegrino,
Yes, Pellegrino, not some soda water, right? Not
No.
some soda water. It's Pellegrino.
Well, Brandon's fancy, okay?
Yeah, and that's what we do. We bring Brandon Bernstein in, special guest. Hey, Brandon Bernstein, why don't you make us some Brandon Bernstein? And he'll make us all one. And then we'll talk. And we'll have, hey, Brandon, how was it being the guy at the Lucas Oil Nationals in, Joe, we can't do this on air. We have to do this behind the scenes, Joe.
I like it. Well, but see, people love the on-air stuff. And I hope they're sharing the show on YouTube. Everybody share. I'm watching the number bounce right off the number. That is the algorithm limit. And I hate it. But we're going to keep on going. Bobby's Bug Barn says you listen to the podcast with on Racing Writers Podcast, which is great. Congratulations, Courtney, on your new venture. Like the show and shared it on Facebook. It says Fast Eddie. Blake says, Courtney, tell Erica I said good luck at the U.S. Nationals. Can you make that happen for Blake?
I think so. Actually, I just got off the phone with her not long ago, and she goes, well, I'm not doing anything, and I got my hair done. Like, I could call in and be on the show. She's trying to be on our show.
That's up to you, Courtney. There's always room for Erica as far as I'm
said,
concerned.
are you still free?
Yeah.
Like, who does she think she is? You know what I mean? Like a 3-time Indy champ? What? That's
exactly
rude.
Right.
Going for 3 in a row. This guy watches PDRA and Funny Car Chaos on Flow Racing. So we got some Flow Racing people
Love
out there.
PDRA. PDRA is awesome, honestly.
Really seems to be a great time for drag racing. It does. Doesn't it seem to be a great time for drag racing? Have we successfully beaten back the naysayers? Remember when there was always naysayers? I don't know. I feel like we've beaten them back.
There's like 26 entries on the fuel list this weekend. We're getting back to what Indy used to be. And I'm going to go off on a small tangent for a second here. We just came off of Brainerd where I was reading some kind of negative things about the car count, this and that. But A, you have to understand the state of the union, right? Things are hard. B, Brainerd is in Canada, folks. That is a tough haul. C, everybody wants Indy. Everybody wants Indy. So a lot of these little guys are waiting. The race before Indy, being in North Canada, it's tough. And so I think you have to, before you start making those accusations of ProMod only had this and that. Well, PDRA was the week before. Then we're mountain motoring. There's a lot of things happening on top of each other right now, and people are having to pick and choose. But I think State of the Union is superb.
Exactly.
Yeah. Joe, tell everybody what's actually going to happen. All the fun stuff that's going to happen at Indy, because it sounds like a lot of work for your boy Jason in the low zone, standing in the heat.
I'll come distract you. Don't worry.
Yeah, Brad wants to know what channel, website are you talking about, Courtney? Go ahead. Give your Flow information so people can go find your stuff.
Yes, flowracing.com. We're also going to be getting all of that revamped as well. But Flow Racing, we stream. It's kind of like a grassroots deal. We stream a lot of series and sports that don't get the opportunity to be on television. So PDRA, NMCA, Funny Car Chaos, DuckX Productions, looking into acquiring some new bracket races and stuff too. So if you want your race streamed, holler at your girl. But yeah, just a place for racers who don't get to be on the television to be on the television.
There you go, Brad. There you go. Okay, Jason. Look, Mitchell's out there. Loves my shirt. Hot Rod, Roddy Piper. I love it. I was going to go full retro. Where is it? I got my Don the Snake. Check this out. What if I roll into Indy like this? With this
if
is from
you don't,
guys.
You have
First
to.
off, it's Joe Castello wearing a hat. He never wears a hat.
So rare. So rare. Isn't this? Look how big it was for back in the day, right? It's like a giant trucker hat, like those Von Dutch hats. This is from 1982, guys. This is, I rated my dad's closet.
Yet.
That's what I'm saying. This hat has been around since 1982. In my dad's closet, right? The snake. And I said, Dad, that thing's got to see the sunlight, man. We got to do it. So I think I'm going to rock this thing.
You have to wear that.
Remember the painter hats, Joe?
Yeah.
That was so the
that
Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals in there when you got your season tickets.
Yes,
it was the worst display of season ticket gifts ever. They made like a Cincinnati Bengals painter cap, like those old school ones, and people were like, "What in the world is this Cincinnati? This is what we get." And like the Raiders had this beautiful box of just like with a crystal in it. I was like, "Here we go." But yeah, those gifts and that painter's hat and that trucker hat looks fantastic. We should bring those back.
I think we should bring them back. I have a Dan Pastorini Coors Light autographed painter's cap. With the little brim. Right. I'm not rocking.
Dude, I interviewed Dan Pastorini at a race in Houston. He was out there, and I tried to get him to sing the Love You Blue song. He wouldn't sing the Love You Blue.
Dude, you're lucky he didn't pick you up and snap you like that. All right,
That's not Dan Pastorini. It's not him.
He's a former NFL quarterback, man. The guy's good. All right, so you mentioned all the stuff that's going on out there. I don't even know. Here's what I got, okay? Working backwards from Monday, Camping World Series, U.S. Nationals, the Lucas Oil Series, U.S. Nationals, the biggest and most important drag race on the planet, 68th edition. There's that. But there's also the Pep Boys All-Star Call-Out for Funny Car, where Robert Height has to call somebody out, and we're hoping for something interesting. And then there's the Pep Boys All-Star Call-Out for Top Fuel, where Brittany, Justin Ashley, Steve Torrence, and Mike Salinas are in competition. So I've got a theory that I want to present to you guys, right, and see what you say. And everybody out there watching as well. I was really thinking about this because I talked to Forrest yesterday. Hopefully everybody go check out Forrest. And Forrest was like, hey, if you call me out, thank you, and get ready because I'm going to bring it. And I thought, John Forrest, man, this guy's 73. He understands that you've got to say something cool about this. You've got to get a little aggressive. And so I was thinking about Brittany, who gets to call out somebody, and like, who should she call out? And my thought is, Brittany's got to call out Steve Torrence, doesn't she? Isn't that the coolest thing? Anything other than going right at Steve's face and right at his throat is like trying to get too cute by half and run Mike Salinas or Justin Ashley. Just pick the biggest guy in the prison.
Gotta do it.
And go up and punch him in the face.
I agree. I think that's the move, especially coming off of his win. I think it's a no-brainer. But I mean, that's the beauty of the call out is whatever Brittany feels, Brittany does.
Yeah.
And those guys are all about, maneuvering and positioning over there. So, I think she's going to call out Justin Ashley. That's just me.
Really, though? Really?
Yeah.
Who's the easiest person in that group?
Is it strategy or is it like
I think it's strategy.
This is what the purpose of this deal is supposed to be like, hey, brung what you brung. Let me just get to it, But
I understand
Justin Ashley's no duck. He is no duck.
Oh, none of them are. But what I'm saying is that's what promoters want. Yeah, we want to see, come on, bring it down. But, as a racer, do I really want to go and have my Pep Boys call out in round one? So
hey, we also have the Jegs All-Stars.
And the Jegs
All-Stars,
right. That's the thing. We have so much in the Dodge Hemi Challenge.
Much.
Constant Aviation Factory Stock Showdown. We have all class and eliminations.
We have Mountain Motor. We have Pro Mod. We have every single body there.
No, you're not
going to bring you water like I do.
Yeah.
Courtney, somebody's have to have an IV. I mean, I don't like it's like funny because on race day, I get on that stage at 9:30 and I don't get off until 2 at least. And those days have been hot. I hope they put me in some shade of some sort.
You need an umbrella. You need one of those Lowe's umbrellas that like have the lights underneath them too. Because I know in Seattle and Topeka, you were too far away. I couldn't even call you. We were talking on the telephone looking at each other.
Yeah, Topeka's just way too spread out. But at least I did have an umbrella, and that made the 104-degree heat actually just 100 degrees. So it was good.
Topeka was miserable. Gosh.
No, Topeka was miserable. Wow. It's a miracle.
That was one of the hottest races I've ever attended, period.
I felt like Seattle was hotter, but Topeka, there was less, because in Seattle, you're in a forest and there's some shade from a tree.
Yeah.
In Topeka, there it was less hot, but you had no escape. There was
Joe was hiding under the stage at one point in time.
I crawled under the stage to hide. It's like, I can go down there. There's a little bit of a shade. There's a grid. Jerron Settles doesn't think you should be eating while you're on the air, Courtney. If you didn't bring enough food to share with everyone, you have to stop eating.
What are you eating?
I'm starving. I'm eating fried mushrooms.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's our girl.
Just
I live a healthy life. Well, last night I get home from Austin. I went straight from Brainerd, had travel woes to the freaking maximum. Went straight to Austin, literally went home, switched suitcases, went straight to Austin for the week. And then this morning, I slept in until about 9 o'clock. And then I had physical therapy, which is right down the street for my little neck injury. And I have not eaten since yesterday. So you got to make time. And happy hour is all about appetizers.
Absolutely.
And cocktails. This is a real life show, guys.
Let me ask you this, Courtney. Talking about switching suitcases. When you get home from a normal race weekend, and Joe, this is for you too, do you immediately unpack your suitcase and wash, or do you just let it sit there for a while?
Good question.
I'm a psychopath. Everything's clean and perfect at all times. It comes right out.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless something horrific happened. My sister is calling me. I texted her and said, do you want to come on? And now she's calling me. Like, who does she think she is?
Yeah, she's interrupting the show now. Now she's become an enemy of WFO because she's interrupting the show.
This is the Courtney time now. On the air. Hello.
Yeah, on the air. Right.
Yeah, usually, on the air. If I'm exhausted, it may last a couple times, but I'm like one end of the spectrum or the other. It's either immediate or it's like 14 days later.
Right.
Okay, so I immediately, not the second I get home, but as soon as I am ready, I open the bag, I wash everything, I hang everything, and now I'm ready to go. My stuff for Indy is already ready to go, like uniform stuff.
No, my stuff's still in the bag for Brainerd. The only reason why the bag is upstairs is because I needed to get my toiletry kit out so I get my toothbrush.
Yeah, but that's gross, Jason. Isn't it stinking? All the sweat.
You're a mess, Jason. Yeah. You're just a mess.
Listen, I'm just saying. It's zipped up. It's closed. It doesn't smell.
Oh, wait, it does smell.
So where's your dirty clothes?
In there. In my closet. And but I'm the guy that will dump it all.
Poor Christine.
In the washer. And, dude, she doesn't do anything. She's like, you're a disgusting pig. Leave me alone.
I don't blame her. You can't blame her at that point. Who wants to smell that?
Who wants to smell that?
But I do have an 11-year-old who plays soccer all the time. The kid smells. So I'm like,
who does the laundry in your house though, Jason? Is that I don't want to say is that woman's work, but do you divide the work to that? I do everything myself, obviously, but do you do your own laundry? Right, like everything. Like, what is there to do? I do it all.
I keep saying I either need and this is not a gender thing. This is just an errand thing. I either need a husband or a wife, but I can't do both of them any longer. I'm doing the husband duties. I'm doing the wife duties. I've got busted pipes outside. I've got laundry inside. Like, somebody needs to help me.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I do my laundry. I do my laundry. She does hers and the child's laundry. That's pretty much it. And then the one thing in my house that I will not do, I refuse, is emptying a dishwasher. I have an 11-year-old that can do that.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
The child needs some chores. I will fill it up. I will clean the kitchen. I will do dishes. But I will not
That's
empty
fair.
the dishwasher.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You got the little people. It's not even about you don't want to do it. You got to create responsibilities for them to follow through with. Yeah, that's.
I don't
so
think
if you
the
need
trash
your child to learn responsibilities, they can intern via chores at my house.
Yeah,
there you go.
You mow the lawn, right? Get over there and mow.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, they know. And then when my mother, Marilyn Logan, decides to call the grandkids over, they know they're going to Camp Grandma because she needs stuff done at her house. She's 76 years old.
That's good for them, man.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, Grandma just called because I have older kids. So I see she took pictures. She's like, I got my grandson out here pressure washing my pool deck. I can't do it, so he's gonna do it. But I eat fried chicken. Oh, he's like, yeah, Grandma fed me, so I'm good.
Okay, Jerron Settle says he's working on a pepper's helmet. Yeah, order another cocktail. You're falling behind. working on a Pep Boys
Jason,
helmet
I have a
for my
legit
team.
question for you.
Okay.
Your son, I saw him at Richmond. Tell us what J-Lo's son thinks of drag racing.
Well, these kids, all three of my older ones have been out there. He liked it. He was like, dude, this is crazy. But he's a performer like I am, so he got more out of watching me perform than watching nitro cars. He thought those were cool.
He was like standing right behind the camera.
Yeah, but what did he like better, Jason? Did he like the drag racing in Richmond, or did he like the weirdo karaoke bar we ended up in late night?
Oh my God, that karaoke bar was out of control. But he loved all of it, and I will say this on the way after the karaoke bar, all drunk and stuff, because he's 21, so he thinks he's got to drink every time he goes out.
Yeah.
I go, what was your favorite part about drag racing this weekend? He's like, he looks around and he's all drunk. He goes, that Courtney girl is hot. He was like, Courtney, he goes, how do you know her? And I go, she's out here. He goes, yeah, she's awesome. All drunk.
Yeah, Courtney, you're getting a lot of love. Bill out there, Courtney's getting a lot of love out there. Courtney with black silk.
Listen, Topeka was weird. I don't wear shorts much because I have no torso and all leg, and no matter the length of the short, I look like a raging skank. And Jason was a victim to hearing some men talk about me up on the J-Lo stage.
Oh my God, they were like, hey, look at that lady out there. She's got no clothes on. I'm like, hey. Stop it.
I have Lululemon shorts and a t-shirt on. Okay.
Yeah, it's just they don't understand. The older folks don't understand the style of the day.
Yeah, but I had to defend your honor up there in the Bud Light party zone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
But also when it's hot, we should be able to wear shorts, man. It's like, that's why I don't wear them, because I always get unprofessional comments and this and that. But now that I'm, don't work at the NHRA races anymore, I figured I could be comfortable.
There's always the gap between comfort and whatever that is, professionalism.
Functionality.
Yeah, I always think
because we're moving. It's hot. It's like, come on.
I always feel like the starting line, though, like I don't know, safety, right? I always think like there's people who wear flip flops up there, and I'm always like,
oh, that's a no brainer.
Right. And so the same theory is true for me. Not that I'm against shorts or anything, but it's just like, oh man, I don't want any skin exposed because it's drag racing. Like something hot could come flying at you, and it could be metal.
Oh, speaking of that, in Brainerd, remember that guy, that hood scoop, that guy who blew up right there on the track?
Oh,
I missed that totally. I didn't see it. I heard about it. The Doug Gordon thing, and that thing happened minute to minute, and I missed all of it. I was doing Fox stuff. What happened?
That was wild.
That was the craziest thing, because so I'm right down there on the starting line, normally right at the beams. And in my head, I'm going, something's going to blow up at some point in time, and it's going to take the entire stage out. I'm going to blow it. Jarrett, the gym guy's going to get destroyed. Me and him are just going to be casualties of war. And sure enough, that dude blew up right there. That hood scoop went up so high in the air. It literally took almost 8 seconds for that thing to come down. It was one of the scariest things I've seen.
Big fire. Big fire.
Huge.
Yeah, I heard it was a record. Reinhart said it was the record for launching a hood scoop into the air.
It shot up. Like, I know we always say, oh, we're fast, drag racing. The nitro car leaves the starting line faster than the space shuttle did. It's quicker off the line, Okay, great. Watch that hood scoop. If you can find a video of that, oh, my God. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Wow. Well, I'm glad it worked out. I'm
glad no one got hurt, but it was like, in my head, I went up to the tower, and I went right into Evan. I go, Evan, I got to stop doing this. I go, I almost lost my life today. He goes, what are you talking about? Oh, my
God, you drama queen.
You are so far. Come on, man. You just got to play
it so far away from it, but I was like, Evan, this is the reason why I got to be in the tower where the air conditioning is.
No, you're with the people. You're one with the people, dude.
You got to be with the people. You got to be one.
And I need a space to come see you and instruct you and get you in trouble.
Look at Monica. No negative mojo out there with bad thoughts. Yeah, exactly. It's all going to be okay. All black on asphalt track has to be hot. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very. I can't put enough sunscreen on, Joe. Look at this. I use 70 Neutrogena to 70 the spray. I mean, can you even see? Do I have like a farmer's can?
Your fisherman hat's been great, though. I think that's been a really good call. First off, it looks cool, and second off, like safety.
Thank you for saying it looks cool.
It doesn't look cool, Courtney. Come on, man. What are you telling this guy?
Some days,
it does not look cool, Courtney.
You look great.
When I put that thing on, I look at myself and I go, God, I'm getting old.
But listen, those are like cool. What's cool right now is like to be, even the young kids. I live in a college town by TCU. Like function and comfort is cool these days. And it's weird. Everybody has like mullets and nobody matches and they're wearing like big t-shirts and fisherman hats. It's a weird time to be alive.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. NHRA posted the Hood Scoop thing on their channels. Yeah. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate that. Butter him up, she said. Butter him up. Butter him up. Yeah, like
I do. I always do.
She knows how to do it.
I sent Jason the link to a hat like he's been wearing, except it's like a disco ball, mirrors all over it, right? So he could have some little show stuff and also get some sun protection. But he hasn't.
I told him to get one of those with the umbrella. You remember the old school ones with the umbrella?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I was watching F1 practice today on ESPN, and they're in where are they at, Joe?
I don't know. Was it
Belgium? That's where they are. They're in Belgium,
right? Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, and
they are forest.
And they were. It started raining, and all these Netherlands people, they had the umbrella hats on with the Netherlands flag, and it was super huge. And I'm like, oh, I need that. And they were so. I was like, that's what we need right there.
We need to tell Randy Lynn that we need to make some Eric Enders ones.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Like you mentioned Formula One, and you guys work in drag racing. Let's talk about that. Like they've got all this energy right now, and people who have never watched a race, they're like, oh my gosh, Drive to Survive. I'm going to become a Formula One fan and root for Max Verstappen and wear an orange t-shirt. That's cool. They're definitely making a lot of money, but I would like some of that energy in drag racing, but maybe not total crossover, because that's always bad when you cross over, because then you have to fall eventually. What do you think about the energy that's going on in Formula One?
I think it's fine.
You go first.
I think it's fine, but again, I'm not going to sit down and watch a race where there's 3 passes and it like they're going 200 miles an hour, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, the sport's cool, but the racing to me, when one guy makes a move from 5th to 6th or 6th to 5th, and he's like, oh my God, that was the greatest movie someone's ever made.
But I do want to point out you like soccer.
Yeah, soccer's the beautiful game, Joe.
Joe, I was going to go there.
Right. It's the same thing, though, right? Like, how can a game be exciting?
Oh, the ball went from one guy to the next, but no one scored.
It's 0-0.
0-0.
I will fight you on this one, Joe.
I'm eager. How can 0-0 be exciting, but 2 passes for the lead not be?
All right, you might have a very good point there, Joe. But listen, it's still okay. They go 200 miles an hour. I'm going through a chicane. And then you got Lionel Messi out there passing the ball, making a 90-yard pass on a dime on somebody, and somebody just upper 90, Joe.
I don't even know what you're saying.
I know.
This guy's with Jason on this. That was prior. Oh, look, here we go. Soccer is the F1 of motorsports, right?
Jaron knows.
Exactly. But they're both they're the biggest sports in the world, Joe.
International. Well, that's why they're the same, right? Like there's less action, like a basketball game. Do you ever watch a basketball game in the second quarter? Like, what's the point of it, right? Like, because they're going to score a whole bunch more until the time that actually matters. Same thing with a pass at a NASCAR race in the first 100 laps. Like, all right, who cares? But in Formula One and soccer, the way I look at it is everything that happens is like consequential. There will be a pass for the lead, and that'll be it. And there might be only one, and you get to see it. Same with a goal, right? No goal, no goal, no goal, no goal, no goal. Oh my God, it happened. Oh my God, amazing. And that's why people have like moments of ecstasy when they
what, Joe? You are making a very good point here. I appreciate this point.
That's what I do.
Wow, he went from this is a sword I'll die on to you're making a good point.
I've done this a while. It's not the first time I've done this.
Here's the pitch I make to people who are like, drag racing's not as cool. I'm sorry. Drag racing's not as cool, whatever. But here's what I love about drag racing, among many things. But like, you can win multiple times in a day without having to win the race, right? So like, you can have these moments of ecstasy. It's celebrating on the starting line and all that, and not even have to win the race. So there's like multiple wins within a win, whereas NASCAR, dirt track, all this other stuff is cool for all the things that are cool, but like you gotta wait to see who wins. But like we can have a bunch of action in between. So that's always my argument.
So on that, Courtney, Flow Sports, right? So you've had exposure to the round track world. And everybody knows that I worked at NASCAR radio and I've done a lot of Indianapolis stuff and I love all forms of motorsports, but I'm a drag racer. I'm a drag racer because that's what I participate in and I like it the most, but I appreciate everything. But I don't get that from like in reverse, right? Like I don't feel like the round track guys reciprocate to drag racing. Tony Stewart is now here. We got a couple more that are maybe coming in, round track guys that have awakened to the reality that drag racing is actually very cool and there's a lot going on. Why do you think drag racing gets disrespected from the round track left turner crowd?
Because they don't understand it. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but there's so many classes. If you watch a drag race, you have to know what's going on to stay invested in it, right? We're switching. As soon as you get the hang of it, you can understand the numbers up on the board. We're switching to a new class and it's a whole new set of numbers on the board and this and that. So if you don't have somebody there to explain it to you, you can kind of get lost in it. I know, I'm sorry. I see it. Listen,
don't apologize to Jaron. Don't apologize to Jaron.
Listen, we're all multitasking and doing the best that we can here. But anyway, I think that the more that you explain it to them, once they understand it, then they're interested. And so that's why we've always said that drag racing is a sensory sport. You have to go, you have to feel it, you have to smell it, you have to get black all over your skin to understand it and stand on the starting line for a full round of all of it. And so once they get it, they're like, holy crap, I've been missing out. So I think it's just really overcomplicated to the common fan.
And I will say this, and I think I said this in Brainerd, or maybe it was Topeka, but as long as I've been associated with drag racing, you know me, Joe, I just walk out there, okay, whatever. What's going on? Like for the longest time, watching the backup girl doing this,
yep.
I didn't realize there was someone behind the car doing this too. Courtney, it was, I was like, it was like a light bulb. I go,
Jason.
Of course that's how that works. But I will say,
so you thought she was like behind the track, she could see through the car and she was navigating the group.
Yes, Courtney, that was like 10 years into this and I just realized that. I mean, people were laughing, they thought that was the greatest thing ever. And that was my dumb blonde moment. But anyways, I think Alan Reinhart has done a really good job explaining a lot of this stuff to the point where I'm actually understanding. I'm like going, okay, that makes a ton of sense. I'm glad he explained it that way. And I think he's gotten to the point where, not that he's never done that, or maybe I'm just paying attention more, but he's breaking it down so dummies like me that are not car guys that are
example what is something that he said you learned, because he solicits those emails, and so everybody, he's soliciting the emails, but he's seeing what the questions are. He's seeing in real time, like, what are the real questions that people have over and over again, and he says it over and over again, and yet they still don't know the answer, and he has to answer it. So give me an example.
Well, kind of like a simple one that I realized when I went and did the PDRA race, because it was pro mods there all day long. And he was explaining a turbo car as opposed to a blower car. Now, some people might go, oh, yeah, of course that's a blower car. Or, of course that's a turbo car. But to the average fan that not really paying attention to pro mods, he's like, this is what a turbo car looks like. And this is what a blower car looks like. And he's like, see that big thing on the top? That's a blower car. Hear that thing wind up like that? That's a turbo car. Just little things like that. And he's made them throughout the whole season too. And you're right. He's probably cheating. Well, I shouldn't say cheating. He's just listening to what everybody's asking. And but for just the casual fan, I think it's fantastic, and I think he does a really good job of explaining it.
That's right.
As long as people are listening.
Yeah, and Duran says that Alan definitely paid you to say that, and that's very possible, which is okay. Whatever you got to do to make a couple of bucks. Jill doesn't understand the whole shot win. Jill, is that real? You don't understand the whole shot win, or are you just making stuff up? The whole shot win. People don't understand the word whole shot. Like, they don't understand that at all. They hear whole shot and they think all kinds of stuff. Some of it's dirty.
Yeah.
By the way, Joe, this past weekend, there was a lot of little baby hole shots. And when there was just like a regular hole shot, I go, that's just a regular old hole shot right there. Right before Alan said it, I was like, because I paid attention. And I was like, because when he says, oh, another little baby hole shot. And I'm like, there it is.
The old Alan Reinhart bingo board.
A full-grown adult hole shot is what that is. Which,
that was
And so when he
That's
says
what that
baby
was.
hole shot, I think it's, a couple of thou. Like if you win by a couple of thou on a, like if Courtney's 20 and I'm 15 and she outruns me, but I win, like that's a little baby hole shot, right? But if I put she's 40 and I'm 10, that's just a hole shot.
That's a big daddy hole shot.
Adult, full on adult.
I love a hole shot win.
Yeah, man.
Who doesn't love a good hole shot win?
I like trying to explain bracket racing to someone and seeing the look on their faces when they realize all the math that goes into it.
It's insane.
It's not that hard. It's basic math. Nobody's like, algorithm. It's just plus and minus. It's just adding.
But it's just so quick. You're looking at, especially if it's not an index class, if it's like an actual dial-in class like Superstock where you get to pick, then you're like, oh, wait, what'd they dial again? And it depends on which board you're looking at too, because sometimes they'll keep the dial but sometimes they'll flip and flop, and so you do have to pay attention to the grandstands, the signs at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, Joe, you do a good job of explaining a breakout as well. So,
well, I started as a bracket racer. I mean, I started as a drag racing fan, but as a bracket racer, it's makes sense to me, and I explain it the way I think it will make sense to other people. Right? Like you can't. This is handicap racing, like handicap bowling, handicap golf, handicap anything. Like Jason, you shoot 100 in golf and I shoot 70. So 30 is the difference. If we go and you're one under, you're better, and I'm one over then you win. It's everybody understands that, right? It's just when you got cars going 150 miles an hour, people all of a sudden get confused. But it's
like the Price is Right. Like you got to get the closest without going over, but it's opposite. It's Price is Right, but inverted.
Go under.
Well,
yes, the Reinhart bingo board was a real thing in the PR room.
Pop. Yeah.
And also when people red light in qualifying, I've heard multiple people, how does that happen? How do they let him keep going? I'm like, it's not eliminations. They're just qualifying.
Doesn't matter. It's right. It's qualifying.
Matter.
The only thing that matters is your time in qualifying, time runs. Like you're practicing on the lights. They put up on Fox the other day this, and I showed Force yesterday, and he liked it, and everybody seems to like it. I thought this was one of the best graphics that Fox has put up or created in a while to explain the difference between a shallow stage, which you got caps on the left, and a deep stage with John on the right. And they're both totally legal. And one is just shortening the track a little bit within the black magic that is the starting line. People don't understand that as well. And a lot of racers want to get rid of that. Like they could get rid of this super easy now that we're in the modern world of infrared beams. I don't think that will be a good idea at all.
I don't think that it changes the numbers around. It changes where you see the advantage, but it doesn't change the end result. Like you're either going to see it on the reaction time or see it on the ET. So it doesn't. I think that the common misconception is if you do that, you're like scrubbing some of the track away, but it's not. It's just another thing. But that goes to the point of like just overcomplicated. And the more we can do is explain it. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because this is just like, say you're listening to like guys, offensive linemen on football teams and defensive linemen explaining the A gap and the B gap and the C gap. And it's like, listen, you got to get through the A gap and you got to get there. And that's exactly what this is. I double bulb that guy. Watch this. I went in deep. I'm like,
double bulbing is one of my favorite things in the world. I love when people double bulb each other. I think that's an aggressive move, and I dig it.
Yeah, double bulb
that
somebody. I'm ready to race. You know what's funny though, Jason, is that I like football, but I'm not interested in that conversation, right? Like I want to see my Dolphins win. I want to see them score. I want to see a big long play. I want to win. I want to feel connected to my team. The A gap and the B gap and how to read a too deep cover. Like, oh man, I don't want to learn that. I don't care. And
that's what the casual fan does during SuperCon. I just want to know who just won.
Well, and that's us telling the story. We can't teach every single person how to be a crew chief, right? Like some people just want to see the cars go fast and see their guy win and the other guy lose, humiliated. Courtney, Marvin Rodak out there. He says education is the key. But really, he wanted me to say, hey, you need to pick up your coffee or get your coffee.
I know. And
send it out soon. Otherwise, it will be spoiled.
Well, also what happened was my travel woe day in that 15 minutes where I was supposed to be at home for 24 hours, didn't go home. So, and then Dion was supposed to pick it up for me and then he forgot. Just smooth forgot.
Well, just a reminder. I promised Marvin.
Well, yeah, I have to mail it to this girl now. We did a coffee exchange at work because I am a social butterfly and I participated in it. But I was late and now the girl doesn't have coffee. So I probably won't be doing any more extracurricular activities.
Once she gets the road act, she'll love it so much.
The road act is the best.
Yeah.
So why don't you have a coffee? Why don't you bring a coffee maker out on the road and serve everybody road act coffee? I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, Marvin, send me some coffee. First of all, Jason, you and I will both have coffee makers in our rooms now that we're at the Staybridge. We're going to have a kitchen. We're going to have...
Courtney, do you understand what happened yesterday to me? Should I even bring this up, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead, bring it up.
So, inside baseball with NHRA.
That's why they watch, Jason. They want inside baseball.
So, I have to share a room with people.
Yes.
Joe shares a room with the guy from ticketing.
Lenny.
Lenny's a good guy. I love Lenny. Clean guy.
Lenny
Every weekend, Joe is with Lenny. Me, though, I get like different people left and right. Like I was with Bob Zelag, National Dragster.
Love
great
Bob.
Roommate. Awesome. I was with Fabian and Brainerd. So there, and I don't know because I don't ask because I'm just like, all right, let's see. It's roommate roulette for me. Let's see who I get. So we all were staying at the Conrad downtown in Indy.
Yeah, I wouldn't go into that.
That's what I'm saying.
Go into that. Yeah.
Joe, that's what I'm talking. We're going into it.
Well, it was initially potentially reported that we were going to be at the Conrad. But
Joe and I were like, oh my God, we're going to stay at the Conrad. This is going to be great. But yesterday, we get the email. Hey, we're moving you guys over to Staybridge. It's closer
to the track. More
I was going to say, the morning is a pain. The Conrad's nice, but it is a pain to have to stay down there.
It smells so good in there. I don't know what they're putting in the air over there, but it just smells so good.
But I was like, all right, guess what? I better this weekend I'm going to ask who I have as roommate. I get the email back. Jason, you're riding solo. What? Your boy has his own room. I'm so excited.
He's so
You've been talking about your roommate situation for a while now, so I feel very happy for you.
You deserve it.
One of the many perks of being a female on the road is that I've never had a roommate.
Yeah, no.
And it's not so much that I don't like my roommates. I'm probably a terrible roommate.
Yeah,
I'm sure you are.
Joe knows. We've roomed together before.
We did. We roomed together for a long time. Like my first roommate was Brian Loans, and my second roommate was Jason Logan, and now Lenny from ticketing.
Lenny, what a good guy.
He's a good dude.
Erica and I used to room together, but we would fight every time. We do not fight. Erica and I do not fight unless we are sleeping in the same room or have to get ready in the same space, because I am warp speed and she will take 48 minutes to lotion one leg, and it drives me crazy. And I can't do it.
Listen, all I know is like if I have to get ready, like my wife and I have to time this out. And there's been a couple race weekends where I woke up late. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of the house. I got to get to an airplane. And my wife will be getting ready next to me. And I'm like, I'm such a grump in the morning sometimes with her. And I'll be like, excuse me. I said, good
Why
day,
are you
man.
breathing?
Excuse me. And she's not doing anything, but she's just in the same.
But just existing.
Excuse me.
Well, but on that note, getting ready for work when you're out there it's a process, right? You got all day, and it's nice when you have a roommate that you know understands you. And in this case, Jason, good luck.
So, do you and Lenny do you guys schedule who's going to get in the shower first and stuff? So is that a thing for roommates on the road? You talk about it and you have a plan for the morning?
No, the way Lenny and I have got it figured out is he just totally defers to whatever I want.
God, Joe, you are
get out of the way. Lenny.
When I was with Bob had to be at the track super early. I don't have to be there that early. So he's up at 6 a.m., out the door, bam, with Jerry Foss. Me, I'm like, it's 10:30. I guess I should get up and go to the track now. We're not running cars until 6:30.
Well, that's what happens when you're a high-level entertainer like yourself. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect. All right, so we're an hour in, guys. I want to start landing the plane, and so is there anything that we haven't covered that needs to be covered? Courtney, is there anything we talked about the big podcast with Kelly Crandall? We talked about Flow Racing. We talked about Erica, U.S. Nationals. Just kind of take it. What do you think? This weekend. What do you think? What do you see ahead for the big go that we need to pay attention?
I know people say this, and I think that fans or listeners may think that we are just like fluffing the feather, but Indy is so cool. I am so excited. I stay pumped for Indy. We have all these group texts within our team. We have the big elite text that has everybody in it. And then we have Team Princess that has like Aaron's car and Erica's car, and everybody is just sending memes. It's every man for themselves, and it's a totally different vibe. And I am so excited. Like it's a long marathon of a week, but this is one of the ones that like we literally live for. And I'm not trying to be biased here by any means, but that Erica Enders is mad. She is hot, and the red car is her guys are ready. And I got a picture today that said "You're Indy winner," and we are coming in hot. So listen, we're team elite, all elite all the time, but not this weekend, boys. It's red car.
Wow. Well, you won back to back, and that's very, very challenging. And she's got 3 in her career and going for 4, and has been the car to beat.
Points and a half. Like we're about to break it back down. The lead that we have is about to be stolen from us like a child's toy, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
It is going to be tough because the competition is coming on, and you've amassed that points lead, but now you've transferred to the big show, right? And so you got to start again. Greg Anderson is running well, and those Quadra boys are 00 or they're red, one or the other.
He's running well. Bo got his new car. He's got his life together now. If he wouldn't have red lit last weekend, I think that that race would have been a very different outcome. But I again, you're gonna have to tune into my stuff later this week, but we're going to be doing some stuff in the elite pits, some extracurricular viewings, if you will, through the elite pits. So keep your eyes and ears on some social media for some announcements there that might be mingling my two worlds. So there's a lot in my world and on my plate that is big stuff for Indy, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's the biggest drag race on the planet. Jason Logan, what about you? Like, where's your head at when you get ready for this marathon? We got a weekend. You're going to be going to work tonight. We got one weekend this weekend. Some people are out drag racing. They're at Beach Bend right now running Lucas Oil Series. But when, you get into Indy, what, on Thursday? Are you getting in on Wednesday? Like, what is on your mind for this marathon?
I'm coming in Thursday, get to do the YES program. We've been on a hiatus because kids have not been in school. So I'll be out there bright and early at like 8:30. And
awesome.
I know that.
Ooh, you love that.
Yeah,
yep, I sure do. And I know that day is going to probably be midnight by the time we get out of there. I'm looking forward to possibly eating some Arby's roast beef sandwiches at 11 o'clock at night because I haven't had a chance to go get food. Because
you come to our pit. Cody will cook for you. We'll make you a plate.
That's a good call. That's a good call. But yeah, it's a marathon. I will as much as bad as I give it because I don't want to work that much out there. It's still pretty cool to watch. And like you said, we got 25, 26 top fuel guys. God only knows how many funny car guys we've got. It's to see the smaller teams that just wait for this one race, that catch lightning in a bottle, that can do their thing, and just they're so far down the ladder. You're like, that guy's not going to win, but man, he puts one round together.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he puts one round together. And it's just like we saw Krista Baldwin. She crushed that last run last week in Brainerd, and all she cared about was that car ran amazing. I don't care if we won or not.
Have you ever seen a happier person to be on the losing end of a bracket in your life? I love her. She's contagious.
Yes, and speed. And by the way, in our Facebook group, we have a WFO group, which a lot of the community is in there, just like sharing stuff. It's never contentious. Somebody dug up an old interview with Krista when she was like a teenager, and she's like this little kid, and it was her first driving opportunity, and some local like college station did a report on her or something, and you get to see her. I don't know. I bet you she's 17 years old. I don't know. And it's really great. So go into our Facebook group and check that out because she's the same person, except now
she loves it. Some people think it's like an act. She's the most genuine thing ever, but that's a whole other show.
And that's the cool thing. And that's the nice thing that you do, Joe, with the Parade of Champions and all that stuff. You get to hear from the stock guys. You get to hear from all the Lucas Oil guys, and you're just like, guys. I mean, whoever got all emotional last week. I mean, or maybe
how about the kid announcing he wanted to run pro stock? Like all of a sudden, I'm looking him up. I'm like, we need to get this guy.
How about that, Dylan Howe? Right, like here's his dad,
and he's so awesome. He's cute. He's charismatic. He's talented. He's good.
Right.
And fast, and he wants to run pro stock. Well, but that's great for pro stock. Where do you want to be, kid? I want to be in pro stock, everybody. Hey, Courtney, you know anybody who accidentally said that and then turned out to be a pro stock racer?
Yeah, that girl. I forgot her name, but she's won a couple indies, you know?
Well, and Joe, that Gabe kid at pre-race when you were doing the Sealmaster track walk, that junior drag racing guy, you were like totally hyping that kid up. And that kid was amazing on the mic.
Gabe.
You don't remember that? Yeah, Gabe.
Gabe. Wow, Gabe. Gabe could be out there right now. Gabe was out there in like 2017 when Leah won, and he came up to me and he was like 6 or 8 or something. He was a little tiny little boy. And he's like, "Hello, I'm Gabe. How are you? I was really watching the competition eliminator, and I noticed that they ran under and they got a CIC. And what's up with that?" I'm like, "Oh my God." And
you're like, "Oh my God."
I did an interview with Gabe for WFO audio only back in the day. Like, this is Gabe. Wow, I got to talk to you, kid. You're amazing. And so he's there as a junior dragster kid, and he waves at me, and I'm like, "Who's this kid?" Right? And he goes, "I'm Gabe." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you're the Gabe who was a little kid?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm older now because that's what happens." And
I'm older now.
And the kid had it together, right? And so I leaned on him about staying in school, and you got to get good grades, and and his mom's like, "Oh, he'd rather be at the drag strip than in school." And so
Gabe, same.
We all, Gabe, but get good grades. But yeah, the kid was amazing and such a nice, nice little boy. Like, oh my gosh, his parents are doing a great job.
He came up to me twice at the end of the race. "Hey man, thanks so much for coming out." I'm like, "Thanks, man. I'm glad you're the one who paid the admission fee to get in."
Yeah.
How do we hire this kid?
That kid was so awesome and on the ball. But that's what I'm looking forward to do this weekend, is at the end of the race, watching people that you've never met before finally get their first Indy, they get their 4th Indy, they get their 5th Indy, whatever it is. That's what's going to happen, and that just the stories that come out of Indy are really good.
You have one of the best spots in the house every week, Jason. You really do. You get to see everything. You get to watch the starting line, all of it. You have the best spot in the house. And you get
where are they going to put you?
Where's the not hard, dude.
Where's the low zone?
My job ain't that hard. Let's be honest. Although those of you who are out there that like to say Joe Castello song requests, you can do that too. But make sure they're pertinent and they go with the racing
I'm
feel.
still wanting a walkout song. Like, I feel like everybody, all these drivers have these walkout songs. Randy Land has a walkout song. Like, I'm on the racetrack constantly. Like, I need a song.
Yeah.
Courtney, you gotta bring one. Courtney, Randy Lynn's like, "You better play this for me." I'm like,
"Yeah, what's Randy Lynn's walkout song?"
You're one of my best friends. You know me.
What's Randy Lynn's walkout song, Jason?
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up here. No, I can't do it.
He'll play it because then they'll the Facebook at people.
We were under the tower in Topeka, like couldn't see Jason, nothing. We were just hiding in the shade, and she hears it, and she's shy like Erica for no reason, but she's like, "That song's for me, Courtney. Jason's playing that song for me." And I'm like, drive out there. I just read drive. Walk out there and go wave at him. She's like, "Come with me." So we walk out, and Jason's like waiting for us. I can't play it.
I can play a little bit of it.
No, you can't. They're gonna mute it.
They're gonna tag him.
Mute it.
When you gotta start playing.
That's not what it was.
Yes, it is.
All right, you're gonna get Joe in trouble.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble. It's just I've seen what happens. They mute that section that the algorithm says you've played music legally. Right?
It's okay, but yeah, Courtney, we'll come up with a walkout song for you. I told you what yours was.
I need one, and well, I was gonna say we can let the y'all let us know what you think my walkout song should be.
What should Courtney's walkout song be? That's a good thing to put up there in the comment section there.
And I will walk out like this. I will do it.
Yeah, no, that's a tough decision.
You're not shy.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it. I'm working on my shyness.
Well, that's why I would do this, Courtney, to help you break out of your shell. Right, it's happening. All right, I think we're good. Before I let you go, say goodbye to the audience. Jason first.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to WFO Joe. I can't put my hand in the middle of the thing. Hey, if you're coming to Indy, come say hi to me.
There it is. He'll be in the low zone. We don't know where that is, but he'll be there. All right.
Hopefully, hopefully it's underneath the tower where there's a ton of shade.
Yes. Yeah. So you don't have to wear the fisherman's hat.
You're such a special person, Jason.
Yes. There he goes. Jason,
I have needs. I
get out of here. Get him gone.
He's gone. All right, Courtney, you too. The same. Final thought. Goodbye.
Yes, this is one of my favorite things to do. I know, Joe, you put a lot of time and effort into the actual things that you do of intellectual girth, and this is not one of them. And but I appreciate it and I love it, and I love hearing all the fans will be at the racetrack and they're like, we need to be on WFO again. So it's a big deal and I love it. And my legs, yep, got legs.
Yeah,
So
well, it's got
I will
legs,
not be
right?
wearing shorts for the rest of the season.
Too Shy by Kaya Gugu. I don't think so. Like that. Come on, get out of here. That's Brenwald
No.
Media. It's a tough thing to figure out a walkout song. It's to. I'm sure you like
but I need the fans' help. I need our fan and friends' help. So
we'll see what they come up with. I'll put that in the YouTube chat section, and people can do that. All right, Courtney, thank you for making the time. This was fun, and you're absolutely right. The plan was hatched when we had dinner in Brainerd, and we all had such a great time. We were like, we need to do this again. And it's Friday before Indy, before it gets crazy. Of course, a perfect time to just have a casual conversation and kick back. So thanks for making the time.
All right. Thanks for having it, and go the big go.
There it is. Big go. See you in a few days. There she goes. Courtney Enders with us here on WFO Radio. And just like that, a happy hour. Like I said, a little happy hour, right? It's Friday. You don't have anything to do. Final comments in the comment section, but stick around while I tell you about the people who make this thing possible. Like this can't happen. This thing can't happen without Bernie's Speed Shop. Bernie's.com. Go to the website. Like him on social media. American Classic Horsepower. Josh Hart was on was that yesterday? It feels like it was yesterday. Josh Hart. Everybody is blowing me up about how they learned so much about Josh. So go check out that interview. And Phillips Connect. Smart trailer technology. If you go over the road with trucks and trailers, if you're in the transportation industry, you got to reach out to these guys because they'll keep you safer. They'll keep your load safer and on time. Phillips-Connect.com. Total Seal piston rings. There's a brand new podcast episode with Dr. Ken Hope up there about base oil, but really there's a lot of great secrets that get revealed in there from NASCAR, from the days of the tandem draft, all kinds of interesting stuff. Go to TotalSeal.com. If you need to order rings, go to the website. If you want to do research, go to the website. If you have a question, a technical question, call Keith Jones or Lake Speed at Total Seal, and they will answer your question. FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. Paul Lee is one of the 18 funny cars scheduled to run at the Big Go. But when it comes to .90 racing, when it comes to big money bracket racing, when it comes to weekend warrior, just driving around with a fast car kind of stuff, FTI has got you covered. If you need a shift kit, they can make it happen in a very quality way, all the way up to specialized transmissions and torque converters for the most elite of bracket racers and .90 racers. So check them out, FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. These guys are all doing a great job for me, and I try to push them as hard as I can. Like Torque Calibration Services of Australia, Matt Clark. This guy has done such a great job, and he is working with a lot of the top-tier teams down there in Australia, not just racing, though. Any industry, construction. If you're in Australia, you don't have to just be a racer to support Torque Calibration Services of Australia. You can reach out to them on their website, call Matt Clark, and if you're in business and you have torque wrenches, well, he can keep them set for you. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com. You can drive a dragster, and it's not very expensive, and you can get the feeling that everybody gets. samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. And I would imagine Brian Massengill is going to be at Indy, right? I would imagine that Massengill is going to be at Indy, I would think. But if you want to become a machinist, if you want to become an engine builder, if you want to program CNC machines, if you want to tune electronic fuel injection, well, that's what the whole point of this is, to get a foundational education and then get placed. So samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. And then there's my buddy, Marvin Rodak. Courtney is going to go pick up her Rodaks like right now. 817-924-6821. That's rodakscoffeeandgrills.com. Hot sauces and spice rubs and everything that is good. Marvin Rodak. And he is like everybody that tries him, they end up using him over and over again. Because once you make the step from just basic coffee to next level coffee, your whole day changes, like the whole day. 817-924-6821. Our Patreons, we talked about the paywall on this show. Like, we don't have a paywall. Everything is free. But if you really love the show and you want to become a supporter, a super supporter, think public television, think, you want to support an artist, Patreons, patronage, that kind of stuff. That's what this website is for. And you pay a monthly. And we try to give you something extra. Like we're going to have a Patreon meetup at Indy. And we've got some good extra benefits for those folks. Patreon.com/WFO radio. And I want to make sure that I got my Matt Clark Torque Calibration Services spot right, because he's been trying to email me. And, it takes mail a long time to get from Australia to here. It's been around since 1989. They're celebrating 33 years in business in September. The biggest independent and most experienced torque calibration company in the Australia Pacific region. Think about that. They service earth moving, mining, manufacturing, engineering, machining, truck, bus, car, aviation, industrials, and of course, motorsports teams. So go to their website, torquecalibrationservices.com.au. All right, let's see what everybody's got to say in the comment section before we bounce out of here. How about that? We did a happy hour show, guys. What a week. Had Leah on the show. Had Force on the show. Josh Hart on the show. Had Ricky Smith on the show. Had Reinhart on the show. These are all in the archive. The YouTube archive in particular. I am not afraid to ask the audience for a little help. Sharing those this week and next week. Not everybody who loves drag racing, loves Leah Pruitt, saw that interview. We're fighting against algorithms. We're fighting against everybody's got 10,000 things in their email box. And when it comes from a trusted friend, people will say, oh, I'll watch that. Leah's interview was tremendous. She gave us great information, breaking news about Tony Stewart driving. Go listen. John Force talked about getting called out, and we talked more about the staging and how he uses it as an advantage, but really it's just a gray area in the rules. He's not breaking the rules. Great stuff. Josh Hart plans. Maybe there'll be a 2-car team in the future. Go check out these interviews. And of course, Alan Reinhart, and share them on your social media. That's the only way WFO grows. All right, Jeff says, fun one, Joe. Yeah, exactly. That's like, we can carry this, guys. My first Indy was 1975. Great show, Joe. Bill, let's hang out. Track me down out there. You've been going since 75. That's amazing. You always comment on WFO. I want to say what's up to you. Badass shirt, Joe. Yeah, man. The hot rod. Right? His was somehow tighter, though. There's less of me. Roddy Piper, man. I love my hot rod t-shirt. Blake, This Is How We Roll by Florida Georgia Line should be Courtney's walkout song. All right. Way to go, Blake. Great show. Joe says Scott. AJ, great happy hour show. Joe, Facebook user. Thanks, Joe. Love coming on this show. I wonder if that's Courtney or maybe who could it be? This Is How We Roll should be Courtney's walkout song. Let's keep this regular, Joe. Hard to get any work done, but it was worth it, says Bobby Bugmarn. Thank you very much, Blake. Well, definitely. Fantastic happy hour show. Fun stuff as always. Have a fab weekend. Yeah. Guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? What's on schedule for me to do tomorrow? I've decided I'm going to take apart my Pontiac engine, and I'm at least going to get it down to the short block. Talk to my buddy who was going to help me. He was going to kind of oversee my disassemble, and he fell off a roof and broke his arm and almost died. So I'm going to do some things myself and at least get it narrowed down, but he's going to oversee me. Looking forward to the marathon, Jaron. Just teasing you, Jaron. Carrie. Thanks, Joe. Take some pictures of the Pontiac. Oh yeah, no, I will. I'm gonna document for social. Yeah, we're gonna make this a WFO feature. Joe's 78 Pontiac Trans Am comes apart. But I've got Saturday. It's my plan for tomorrow. Right now, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna scout the scene and make sure I got as much space. This is a 1-car garage, guys. We'll be doing this in a 1-car garage. I wish I had more space. We don't have a lot of space down here in sunny South Florida. So it's just, when you get backed into a corner, what do? You just do the best you can. Oh, I don't know about that, Frank. I've got some great guys all around me, but I'm happy to be well-liked. And I always don't consider myself an announcer, too. I come at it more from the talk show host angle, like I'm just talking to my buds. Hey, don't forget the WFO store is up and is active. All kinds of stuff. You can get all this gear, but the one that everybody is talking about, and they're actually flying off the shelves right now, is the Miami Hollywood Speedway retro t-shirt. That's not the one that everybody's getting. The Jet Car Joe, We've Got Smoke, We've Got Fire t-shirt that is up there in our WFO store. You can find it on the website. People are getting after it, which is really cool. Final comments, guys. Yes. Oh, man. It's not... I had the name of it, and I've lost it. But massive NASA rocket launch on Monday, 8:33 a.m. Too early for me to go up there. We'll be watching from Denver. Have a great time in Indy. Call the Garage Squad. No, I got to do it myself, man. Got to do it myself. All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. WFO.